Hey everybody, Paul Turner here from thediscipleproject.net. So glad to be with you today. This is my 11th video in my series, and I believe that we have one more left. And I want to encourage you today that if you've not watched any of the other videos, and this is your first video you're watching, here's a link right up top here somewhere where you can go back and watch the actual first video and kind of work your way through the process. This is a series based on the book by Jeff Goins called Real Artists Don't Starve, and I retitled it Real Youth Pastors Don't Starve because it's something that's near and dear to my heart. You guys are near and dear to my heart, and I want you to, which is the subject of this video, be prepared. Be prepared, because that's one of the things that somebody did not do for me. They did not prepare me for what was going to be next possibly in my life. Now, this is once again after being in youth ministry for 27 years, but I wish somebody had sat me down, talked with me and said, Paul, are you making plans for what you're going to do next? And sadly, nobody did it, and I did not do it for myself. I've been feeling my way out here. And so we come to this place with some lessons that I've learned over the past maybe 10 years, and hopefully you're at that point too where you're going to learn a few of those things yourself in this process, and hopefully I can help advance you along early on in your career. So the theme for today is be prepared. I don't know how long you're planning on staying in youth ministry or your youth pastor role or youth in general, but you should be being prepared unless you're planning on working yourself up the ministerial ladder. Maybe you wish to be a senior pastor or you wish to be a discipleship pastor, which are all good venues, by the way. I mean, you can work your way up to a place where suddenly now, you're not in that mode of youth ministry anymore. You say, well, I want to move along, or God's changed and shifted your calling somewhere else. All fantastic. But if that is not your goal, and you say, well, I don't want to be, which was my case, I don't want to be a senior pastor, I don't want to do that, then what is going to be next for you? That is the key question, right? When I made a lifetime commitment to youth ministry 28 years ago, when I did that, I didn't know what my 22-year-old self was saying. I didn't have any idea what I was committing to. I just said, I just want to do this. I want to do this for the Lord. I want to do this for the rest of my life. Fantastic, great. But I am reaching that phase of life where I'm saying, listen, I have to start asking what's next. And it's a good thing to do. It's not bad. It's not terrible. It's probably appropriate that I should be asking this question now. I'm fully entrusting in the Lord, but I'm also listening to the rhythms of my own life that God has given me, and I have to pay attention to those as well. Now, thankfully, like I said, over the past 10 years, I've been working on some other things. I've been working on YouTube videos, right? I've been working on a podcast. I've been working on the blog. I've been working on writing curriculum, and all those links, by the way, are down in the description below. You can find all the links to all my other stuff if you want to find that out. But I've been working hard on those things because I believe in my heart it has to do with what's next for me, even though I'm doing it simultaneously now as I am a full-time youth pastor. Jeff Goins in his book says this about artists. He says, look, the starving artist masters one craft. The thriving artist masters many. And I cannot agree with that more. I would totally suggest that if you're focused right now on simply doing youth ministry, I would encourage you to do some other things, right? Let me give you 9 things that I think maybe you should look at and say, look, how will this prepare me for what's next? So why do I want you to be prepared? Because look, example, 2008, when the markets crashed and everything else, people lost their 401ks, they lost their retirements, they lost all those things. And people put their trust, right, in the system. We talked about that in the last video, right? They put your trust in the system, whether it's a financial system, a religious system, a work system, whatever it may be. And we have to put our trust in the Lord, but there's things we could be doing to prepare for that. So let me encourage you to do just 9 of these things, right? Take a look at least at these 9 suggestions that I'm going to give you to prepare somehow for a life after youth ministry, or if this particular youth ministry job does not work out, you will have some other things that you're working on. So the first thing I recommend is get your CDL license, right? CDL license, you can drive, for the local school system. You can use that for smaller trucking company or van or delivery services. This way, when you get licenses, in those things, I would get find out how you can get a license in anything, right? Because if you can have a license to do something, you have some other skills and other values. There's so many times that I thought as a youth pastor, if I quit, listen to this, if I quit youth ministry right now, what would I do? What could I do? And I may be ruined for the rest of my life. I may not be able to do anything else, but I do have my CDL license. So if it came to that, I could use that in a scenario where that could make me employable. But so many youth pastors who maybe you have a degree in youth ministry, you have a degree in religion, you have a degree in theology. And you know what? On a resume, there people out in the field that are not really looking at saying, well, this guy's got a degree in theology. That's fantastic. Let's hire this guy to do something. And in reality, what we have to do is make ourselves employable, prepare ourselves to be employable after youth ministry, right? The second thing I'd recommend is this: improve your computer skills. Learn how to build websites, learn how to fix computers, learn how to do any of the things you can do. The things that you've been sitting around saying, I'm afraid to do, those are the things you need to work on right now. Now, the third thing I'd say is get certified in another passion, right? Get certified. You could be a certified gun instructor. You could be a certified masseuse. You could be a certified in CPR. You could be certified in lifeguarding. Do certifications. Find some way to do these certificates and learn some of the things. Start amassing yourself all these various skills that will make you employable. The fourth thing I would encourage you to do is improve your writing skills. You know, everybody has a story to tell. You have a story to tell. So even if you started a blog, even if you started, doing copy editing for somebody, or even editing in general, there's lots of little places you can do this and use some of these skills like Fiverr.com. I use that quite a bit, and I'm able to write and develop curriculum. I do job interviews for youth pastors, kind of faux job interviews, so that youth pastors can get ready to do that sort of thing. So I'm using some of my skills, my interpersonal skills, my writing skills, to write things and write custom work for people. So that becomes a great skill to use. Whatever your skill is, writing is always a great skill, but whatever your skills are, find a way to use it. Things like on Fiverr and other, gig economy, as they say, type of tasks that you can use, and put yourself out there and says, look, I can do this for you. The sixth thing you can do is improve your communication skills, right? Take a class online or off, about speaking, about sharing. It could be something like a Toastmasters, which is, public speaking and things like that. Or maybe you're going to go into sales, right? They always say that us preachers are nothing but a bunch of car salesmen. Well, you may have to go into, I've never had to go there, but I have friends who have been car salesmen, and those communication skills certainly were of help and of value to them. So improve your communication skills so that you can be able to get that job post youth ministry or in between churches you may be at. The seventh thing I would encourage you to do is learn a skill that is in high demand. Now, this goes back to just physical labor thing. I wish I had learned some of these things. I wish I had learned car repair. I wish I had learned welding. I wish I had become an electrician. I wish I had learned, and I wish I had an aptitude for those things. But if you learn a skill that's in high demand, like those skills, you're never going to be out of a job. You're always going to be able to find some sort of work. Maybe it's construction. Maybe it's something like that, working on projects, whatever it may be. I would definitely invest in those type of high demand jobs, because a lot of those jobs people aren't going in for. Everything is computer. But if you can kind of reverse engineer and say, well, look, there's going to be always a need for a carpenter. There's always going to be a need for repairs. There's always going to be a need for welding, or some of these type of things that really need qualified people for. That's something you might want to think about. The eighth thing I would encourage you to do is start a side business. And it doesn't matter whether it's catering, dog walking, car detailing, whatever it is start to build a reputation outside of your youth ministry world, where you are known for something, known for a skill or an ability that is not youth ministry, right? Otherwise, you're going to be on the side of the road with a sign that says, we'll preach for food. We'll Bible study for food. And listen, we all have to figure that part out. We all have to find that side hustle. We all have to find that thing, whatever it is. Like I said, I'm making YouTube videos. I'm doing podcasts. I'm doing those things that are in my wheelhouse, but maybe you have some skills and abilities that become marketable that you really need to keep doing even while you're doing your youth ministry job. And the final thing I would encourage you to do is this: if you have not started getting a degree of some kind, get a degree. If you have not finished your degree, finish your degree. I have gone to school a lot, but I've never gotten my degree. I've got almost a 2-year degree in just general studies, but sadly, I am not very good at math, and it's very, very difficult for me, and I cannot seem to pass algebra. So please feel free to let me know any subjects down in the comments down below that you are not very good at in school. But for me, that's something that I'm going to have to look at and say, listen, I'm going to have to power through. I'm going to have to do something to pass a class so I can be able to move on into maybe some other things. But if you've not started your degree or finished your degree, I would encourage you to do that, because it is extremely a marketable thing that you do have your degree. And one more thing, if I can encourage you to do this, is network like crazy. Be a part of different groups and networks other than just your church congregation. I don't care if it's a youth pastor network. I don't care if it's a business network. I don't care if it's an online Facebook business group. It's so critical that we get to know other people, because it's not what you know, it's who you know. So I would encourage you to be a part of many networks, Facebook youth pastor groups, or different things like that are in your wheelhouse. Whatever skills you're working on, get with those group of people, so that one day if you need to go ahead and get that with people, then you'll have some people that you can be able to talk to. Jeff Goins says this in his book: your art is never beholden to a single form. You can always change and evolve. And the best artists do this regularly. They understand that in order to thrive, you have to master more than one skill. This is the rule of the portfolio. The starving artist believes she must master a single skill, whereas the thriving artist builds a diverse body of work. And I could not agree more. Now, the whole premise of these videos is that I believe that youth workers are artists, that you are in fact an artist. You can create, you can build, you can do these things. And we're getting to the end here, and I hope that you've bought into the premise that you are in fact an artist. You're not just a one-note individual, that God has blessed you with the ability to do some of these other things, to expand your vision, to have a growth mindset versus a fixed mindset, that you can actually grow and get better at the things you do. All right, everybody, that is it for today's video. I hope that you have drawn some wisdom from this. Let me know down in the comments below, what are you working on right now? If youth ministry was taken away from you today, what would you be doing? What could you be doing to make a career, to make money, to do all those things? I would love to hear from you. Leave me a comment down below. If this is your first time, thank you so much for hanging out. Appreciate you being a part of the community here. Would love for you to be a part, even more so, of the community if you would subscribe by just hitting on my head over here a little bit and click on that, and you'll get videos like this in your inbox. If you're a regular, I hope that you have been blessed by this series. I hope that it's been beneficial to you and it's been encouraging to you. And so if you enjoyed the video, please be sure to hit the thumbs up button. That's when you like the video and you want more of them. And be sure to share it with somebody else who you know may be going through a similar situation. But that's it for today, guys. Appreciate you guys being here, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.